events. The floor is yours, sir.
Fantastic. So I will just share the screen with you. And make that full screen. So yeah, as I was saying, my name is Michael Gray and I'm the director of MKG Events. So I guess kind of how I got started in the events space. So back when I was 16, I lost someone really close to me for a reason that was entirely preventable, and decided to do an event to help a charity to address that issue. By 18, that event grew to being attended by 10,000 people, getting offers of sponsorship from Woolworths, Coates Hire and other companies. So then when I left school, I went on to work with a range of different charities in marketing, events, fundraising, sponsorship. Before then working with a corporate marketing company for a while, managing their corporate portfolio of client events. When I was 23, I started MKG Events and I'm now 30. I've pulled in over 300,000 people to different events over that time and raised millions of dollars for charities as well. So as I was saying earlier, we do all types of events these days, in person, online and hybrid. And we actually do a lot of events for business and also to professional speakers and coaches. So I guess what I was wanting to kind of cover today, actually, I will show you this video and then let's get into the presentation. Let me just get rid of the ad. Can everyone see that?
Yeah, mate.
I can't hear it.
Tonight, a lineup of amazing entertainers got a crowd of Sydney business professionals up and dancing, having a good time. After networking over drinks and dinner, the singers created a magical atmosphere in the room. This is just one example of the energy and fun people experience at events organised by MKG Events.
I'm at this event right now, which is just over there, and he's got an amazing array of performers. Michael Gray's an amazing event planner, and I'm blown away by the accuracy and the coordination, the way he's pulled it together. So if you've got an event coming on, he's definitely the man to look after you. Thank you, this is Edwards here, and make sure you hire Michael Gray.
Yeah, so let me just share the other screen.
Is that Edward Zia, the business coach from the Central Coast, Edward Zia?
Yes, so
yeah.
He has been on the known to being on the Central Coast before.
Yeah, he's up here quite often.
So yeah, I guess there was a range of different topics that I guess I wanted to cover within the presentation to offer some value. So I guess under the overall theming of how to run a successful event. So the first step is to choose the right venue. Now, the right venue can be determined by a range of factors, such as what your company's brand standards are. So, for example, if you're Louis Vuitton, you're not going to hire a fibro shack that the council rents out for $50 a day. You obviously need to have it at a venue that reflects the level of customers that you're looking to attract to the event, and one that I guess is congruent with your brand principles. And also to considering things like the location of the venue, consider the number of attendees that you'd like to the event, and then also to what size venue you would subsequently require for that as well. Choosing the right day, date, and time for the event. So generally speaking, it depends on who your target audience is as to when it would be best to hold your event. So for example, if you're a coach, you're a speaker, you're looking to target small, medium business owners, I tend to find the best time is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights between 6 and 8 p.m. or thereabouts. For social events, Friday, Saturday nights or weekends. But however, if you're looking to target, for example, corporate decision makers, if you're looking to target that kind of crowd, then breakfast events or lunchtime events tend to work best. So on the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Choosing the right crew and team for your events. So what's really important is making sure that you work with people who understand what you're trying to accomplish, that have previously accomplished what you're trying to accomplish, so that you have that supportive framework to be set up for success. So we've actually done a lot of coaching events in the past, and a very interesting story here. So prior to March 2020, when the world changed forever and everyone was locked up in their homes for indefinite periods of time, we kind of pivoted into online events. No one on my team, including myself, had experience doing online events at the time. And our first client, who happened to be a sales coach, his audience was other types of coaches like life coaches, relationship coaches, etc. And so the brief was to get 25 people in the online event. We did that, and those people collectively spent $56,000 on the client's products and services, which amounted to an 830% return on investment. So, you know, we really understand how to bring the right people to an event, whether it's in person or online. So if that's something that you need, that's obviously what you need to be looking for in the people that you work with. The next thing that I would say is important would be to understand everything about your target audience. And that's really important, because in order to have an event that produces return on investment, you need to understand what your clients are looking to learn, what your clients are looking to take away from the event. So for example, with the analogy that I just gave for that other client, what he understood is that many coaching businesses at that time were struggling because they didn't understand how to sell in difficult times and times of hardship. So that's, I think, why the take up was so strong on his coaching program, along with having obviously the right audience, the right messaging, as an example. Creating really positive experiences with the attendees of your event, either in person or online, is also something that's very important. Allowing sufficient lead time. This is actually a common challenge that I guess I have people coming to me that have, in the sense that they may have had events in the past that didn't have sufficient lead time and therefore didn't have enough attendees, didn't have the right attendees. So I guess when it comes to lead time, this is something that's very subjective, depending upon the topic that you're looking to cover, depending upon who your ideal target audience is, and depending upon whether or not you've run events before and how many people you're aiming to have at the event. Bearing in mind, when it also comes to the number of people you want to your event, consider what they're paying as well, because if it's free, you can account that 50 to 60% of the attendees that book won't show up. So therefore, if you want 25 people in the room, you know those statistics, you should try and book in around 75, and that would be what we would kind of do for a typical client. And also to being coachable and open to change. So why this is really important is, as I'm sure many of you know, being coaches from the introductions earlier, if clients don't put in place what's necessary to change, they're not going to be better. And the same, I guess, happens with event outcomes as well. So as an example, a few years back, we had a client that came to us. They'd been doing their charity's gala dinner for 10 years. And they have about 400 attendees and made $20,000. Now, I've previously, prior to COVID, put on in-person gala dinners with 200 attendees that made $125,000. So there's obviously a lot of room for growth. And where that client, I guess, was going wrong was they invited the people that the charity helped, not the people who can financially help and have the funds to help the charity as one thing. And they had really terrible auction processes as well. So, but in saying that as well, while they wanted a much better outcome, and while I could have produced them a much better outcome, because they wouldn't change either of those things, you know, that's why they're not going to see exceptional results. So being open and to change is very, very important. So when it, I guess, comes to understanding, presenting your topic to the public, what's really kind of important in kind of educational based events and presentations done by coaches, speakers, is to understand what drives the target audience, to build know, like, and trust with the target audience, to demonstrate value. And you can obviously use videos, slides, displays, whatever is needed to kind of help communicate what you're looking to do. So the next thing I guess I wanted to cover when it comes to having profitable events is making cost-effective decisions while not losing value. So events, I guess, can be expensive if not done correctly, but they can be extremely profitable if done correctly. So what's important to consider? So for example, when it comes to sponsorship, some people just think cash is the only way to get sponsorship, but it's not. There are ways that you can negotiate things to be provided for the event for free or at a significantly reduced cost in return for advertising. And while it's not cash, it still obviously helps to reduce the investment, which increases the opportunity of profitability.
Or use a trade exchange.
Yes, and that's also an option as well. Thank you, Jason. It's also important to get the revenue model right and have the right sales processes in place. So for example, if you're a coach and you're speaking to your ideal clientele, there's, I guess, different ways that different coaches choose to try and sell through their events. In my opinion, there's a right way and there's multiple wrong ways. An example of the wrong way. Hi, everyone. So for $2,000 a month, you can get me for 2 hours a week, and you know, it'll be a really beneficial coaching program. But if you buy now, I'll give you 30% off because I'm such a nice person, blah, 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 blah. People have kind of used that philosophy, end up making no sales or very little sales and lose a lot of opportunity. And I've seen that done so many times. I've also seen people ramble on for nearly an hour with testimonial video after testimonial video without actually conveying any value whatsoever to the audience. So these are examples of all the wrong ways to try and get sales from events. So what the right way would be by comparison is to make it a lot less confrontational, a lot less invasive, I guess you can say. So what I kind of do when I'm making presentations and what I advise my clients to do as well. So this would be, I guess, the example of that. I really hope that you found the content presented today really helpful. If you still have any, I guess, personalized questions you feel like I can help you with, please book a free appointment with me and I'm happy to help you solve any of the challenges that you're still experiencing. And what that actually does is people are already opted in, and then they often ask to work with you instead of you having to beg them, and it's a much better case. Where possible as well, moving on to number 4, capitalize on editorial media opportunities as opposed to advertising. So a full page ad in the Sydney Morning Herald can kind of cost around 100 grand. However, if you can get editorial space, A, more people read it, B, it converts better, and C, it's free, other than obviously the cost of us writing a really good report, but it's obviously not going to cost you that insane kind of money. And I guess other ways where we can help to reduce costs as well is using event students and that kind of thing. But experience is also what counts to get a very good result. So having a balanced team is also a way to be cost effective, but also to not lose value. So when it comes to how to structure an event to maximize profit, obviously going back to what we were discussing earlier about making cost-effective decisions while not losing value. So I guess, as I was kind of alluding to as well, with a charity event, for example, having the right structure. So what I've seen some people do is they'll tell the emotional story, then they'll serve dinner, then dessert, then they'll have dancing, and then they'll try and run some kind of fundraising activity, by which point everyone's forgotten why they came in the first place. Not a good way to make money. So the major fundraising activity should be immediately followed by the most emotional presentation in order to maximize revenue opportunity. And that's, you know, one way how I helped a charity see a 300% increase in profit and go from 10 grand from the event that they did with someone else prior to me to 120 grand. When it comes to a speaking event for a coach, a consultant, what's very important from the very beginning is to build rapport and deliver value. Don't try and sell as soon as people come onto the call without, I guess, building that rapport, delivering that value first, because otherwise no one will be interested and it'll be a complete waste of time, effort, and money. And once again, following these kind of steps, you actually can create really positive experiences as well. So I guess when it comes to event marketing, it's really important to understand who the target audience is of the event, understand what type of event you're having and what kind of outcome that you're looking for. So different events need to be marketed in different ways in order to A, get your ideal clients, B, to deliver that value. So as a couple of examples, one of our long-term clients over the last 6 years has been Ray White Real Estate. We do an annual event with them for about 1,000 people that creates referral opportunities for them to secure properties for that particular region, as well as people who buy properties. So that event is primarily marketed through targeted Facebook advertising to the relevant local communities. By comparison, one of our long-term clients, a guy by the name of Rick Chisholm, elite business coach, has made $350 million in sales, started businesses in 15 different industries. We've done 35 events with him since 2018. And for him, primarily through remarketing to previous attendees, LinkedIn, and our business owner database of around 200,000 business owners nationally here in Australia. So there's obviously, as you can see, two very different strategies, but the outcomes achieved in both scenarios. So that would be one thing. And just going back to the topic of sponsorship as well, sponsorship, I guess, can be seen by a lot of people as not really something that's terribly helpful because they don't actually know how to capitalize on it properly. So let's use this example. It's an anti-domestic violence event, and we approach a women's apparel shop, for example. What a lot of people don't know about leveraging sponsorship is that around 70% of a business's target audience can be converted if the business supports a cause that the clients appreciate. So just going back to that example, obviously women who shop at a women's clothing store would appreciate an anti-domestic violence cause, but if the women's apparel shop doesn't actually promote it to their customers and potential customers, they're not able to leverage that value. And in the same respect, logo-only sponsorships don't tend to work for most small, medium businesses. Big brands like Woolworths, yes, but not smaller brands. So what's very important when you're looking for events to sponsor is look for things where there's speaking opportunities, networking opportunities, opportunities to physically connect with people, introduction opportunities. So that's kind of how we do it and why we've had sponsors that have sponsored the same event year in, year out for over 7-8 years, because they see that ROI. And I think as well that it really, you also need to sponsor the right event that aligns with the clients that you're trying to attract as well. So let's say, for example, a business coach sponsors a Christmas carols event, not a good synergy. Business coach sponsoring Business Expo, yes. Does that kind of make sense? So really thinking about those opportunities as well. And as you can see here, here's an example of a happy sponsor we've worked with in the past. And before I go any further, I'd love to see if anyone has any questions so that we can, dive deeper into things that you would help, that you would find that would help grow you and take your events to the next level.
I've got a question.
Wonderful.
Sorry?
Wonderful. Fire away.
All right. So in regards to online events, because that's the space that I'm in at this moment in time, right? You know what it is that we do, even though you've not been to one of our networking events yet. What's the key in an online networking event to getting people coming back?
Well, I think that one key would be that people are getting new business opportunities from it, and regular referrals and that kind of thing. So I'm a part of a couple of online groups, and I look forward to being a long-term member of your group if I'm welcome as well. So,
Of course you are. Of course you are.
So I think, having regular business opportunity, but also as well, just the opportunity to share, to grow as business owners, as professionals, and the feeling of a supportive network that you can rely on in difficult times and awesome times as well.
So it's about adding the value.
Yeah, so basically, value. And the thing is as well, different people network for different reasons. Some network because they like speaking to other like-minded business owners, and they have business coming in from other ways. So new business may not necessarily matter so much to them. Yeah. But in saying that, people who may come because they purely just want new sales. So it really depends, I guess, on what's driving the attendees.
Okay, and
understanding that so that you work out what people want so that they'll stay around.
All right, and what's your view on? So I had somebody who is in your space come to an event and came back with feedback, and I'm not going to name them because we're going live and it's recorded. But the feedback was, you need to have music, and you need to have this, and you need to have that. And it sounded like to me, if anybody's ever been to a Del Beaumont presentation, that's what it was. And in networking, we're not trying to sell. What's your view on that sort of thing? Do we keep it raw as networking, or do we want to pump it up and have music blasting?
I'm not sure who that person is that you're talking about. And different people do have different views depending upon their experience. And that's, I guess, one thing about the events industry is that everyone has diverse experiences. Our team is very diverse, not just in terms of their age, in terms of their gender and ethnic origins, but also very diverse in terms of the types of events that they've worked on prior to coming to MKG events. So, for example, Jess used to do a lot of events with a very large, business event, education event company. For example, Chantel used to work on a lot of expos and basically just expos. By comparison, Virginia came to us from outside the events industry, as did Mitchell, as a couple of examples. So different people do have different experiences. So going back to kind of your question, I don't think loud rock music is essential to group retention, depending upon what the expectations are of the group. So
well, let's ask the group.
I think you just need to seek feedback from the group as to what kind of standards they want.
Yeah, because I've been to a lot of Del Beaumont things. I'm on Blueprint, and he's always got the doof, 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 pump you up sort of stuff. And to me, it's too salesy. and I'm there to network. So that's just me. But yeah, I'll throw it to the group. We've got our next meeting tomorrow evening, and what do you think? So I'm looking right now at Martha, Alan, and Derek. Shake a head. Yeah, shake a head. Oh, yeah, it's no music, is it, guys?
Hate the loud music. You can't hear.
Okay. All right,
it's all too much. Overpowered.
Yeah, look, we're there to network. We're not there to party. So I think we have enough of a laugh anyway.
Exactly. And I'll point out that the majority of my client events don't have music. So just going back to that sales coach I was talking about earlier, he had no music, made significant sales. I have another client that's a LinkedIn coach, made $75,000 off 25 people. In terms of coaching program sales, no music. Short video, yes, but it's mainly just interaction and obviously the presenting side of things. So based on that, I don't think music's essential to make sales. So
no worries.
Hmm.
Any other questions?
Do I hear, Michael, that you actually help get the people in the room as well?
That's correct. So once we understand who our ideal clients are, we would construct a tailored marketing campaign in order to get the required number of the required types of people. So can I ask who would be your ideal kind of clients?
Yes, if I'm also in, like other people in the room, in that training coaching space. So my focus is on health and well-being. So I'd be looking for those people who want to improve, who want to thrive. So I heard you had 200,000 people in your database. So you would obviously have filters, be able to and target those people specifically, as well as obviously the leads, connections and networks that I could provide.
Correct, yes. So that 200,000 database that we have, that can be segmented into different states so that we send out relevant content to relevant people, as well as other more refining characteristics as well. And that's, I think, as well, one of the advantages of, say, LinkedIn, because we have special, I guess, LinkedIn marketing software as well, that can target people very specifically, right down to their level within the organization, industry, sector, location, and many other factors as well, size of the company. So I think this is also too a very good time to kind of mention that in order to get ROI, don't waste money on marketing that doesn't work by using the blunderbuss approach. Be very specific in the approach to the type of people you want. So just kind of going back to the health space as well. One of our clients who's been a client for a long time doing online events with us, about 2 years, is a health and nutrition coach. And their target audience was mothers. So we'd always filled up all of the online events very successfully. So about a month prior to them engaging us, they engaged a different company to do an in-person event for them. And in like a 3-month marketing campaign, the other company had like 2 attendees for a big event they had on the Gold Coast at Versace, which is a very premium, expensive venue up there. And 4 days before the event, they contacted us, help, like there's only 4 people and I've had to pay 20 grand for this venue and I need more people. It was a really kind of dire situation. So what we kind of did to help them, we reached out to Brisbane mums, Gold Coast mums, Sunshine Coast mums, which is collectively a group of around 350,000 mums, which is a hell of a lot of mums. And we managed to get 80 people in the room, which is what the client required in 4 days. So I would never, ever advocate marketing an event that close to it. And we were very clear that we may not get results for that because of the lead time issue, but we ended up coming through for them, which they were obviously very, very grateful for. So once again, we don't just use our own networks, but we also can look at partnering with organizations that can add value to your events as well.
Is this a part of your package, or is this an add-on that you can the client can pay for you to do the marketing and get the bums on seats?
So generally speaking, the marketing is part of the package. And then there's kind of optional extra services such as coaching around getting more ROI, such as helping with other aspects of your business marketing, and that kind of thing as well. But in saying that, we are very open-minded and, create contracts that are tailored around the client's needs and requirements. So if the client wants to do some aspects of the event and outsource parts to us, we can work with that. If they want to outsource everything, we can work with that as well. So it really depends on how we can add the most value to what our clients are doing.
All right, sounds good. Talk to you soon.
Fantastic.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So, Michael, for the people that are not on here, that are watching the video later on or are watching on Facebook Live, how do people get in contact with you?
So I'm just putting my booking link in the chat at the moment. So anyone on the call can book a time with me now. And I will also send you a separate email with my phone number and other contact information so that people can reach out.
Beautiful. So what I'll do, I've already got yours. So what I will do is I will actually just attach it onto the video so that people can actually connect with you that way.
Wonderful. Sounds like a plan.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you very much for that. Let me just get rid of all of this stuff now.